This video is on how to install the Trijicon RMR onto the Shadow Systems MR920. This is not a modification video. Shadow Systems designed the MR920 to fit the Trijicon RMR straight from the factory using factory parts included in the box. Here's a page straight out of the Shadow Systems MR920 Owner's Manual. It shows the optics that the MR920 will accept without modification, including Holosun, Leopold, Shield, SIG, Swamp Fox, Trijicon, TrueGlow, and Vortex. Today I'll be installing the Trijicon RMR. I'll be using spacer A with the number 2 screws. If you're installing something other than the Trijicon RMR, just use the appropriate spacer and screws on this chart. To get started, you'll need a few things. You'll need a torque wrench. You don't want to go too cheap on the torque wrench. You want it to be accurate. I haven't had any problems with Wheeler brand. You'll need a T10 Torx bit. The torque wrench isn't going to come with this, so you'll need to purchase it separately. You'll also need Loctite number 243 thread locker. I also recommend having a Q-tip handy just in case you apply too much to the screw. You can use a Q-tip to clean it up. And if you don't already have these things, I'll put links to everything in the notes below. I'm going to start out with a clear and empty weapon, but just to be 100% sure that I am clear, I'm going to double check before I proceed. There is no magazine, and I can see that the chamber is clear. So I have to pull the trigger. Now I'm going to pull both sides of the slide lock. I'm going to go ahead and apply pressure before I start pulling the slide back. Then I'll pull the slide back, and as soon as I feel it give, I'll let the slide come forward off of the frame. If you pull the slide back even just a hair too much, it's going to reset the trigger and you'll have to start over. So right now I don't need the frame, the recoil spring, or the barrel. I'm going to set that aside and just work on the slide. I'm going to attach the T10 bit to the torque wrench. You can just pull the back end of the torque wrench and set it to about 18 pounds and let it go. Shadow Systems recommends between 10 and 20 pounds with a torque wrench. I can tell you from experience it's probably better to go closer to 20. I have this one set at 18 right now. I'm going to take out both of these screws, then remove the cover plate. Look towards the rear sight. You'll see these two kind of like half circle cutouts just in front of the rear sight. You'll need to match it up with spacer A that comes with your MR920. Spacer A is going to be the thicker of the 3 spacers that it comes with. So match these 2 little tabs on the spacer to the 2 cutouts on the front of the rear sight. Just like that. Make sure your battery is inside the RMR correctly, so the label of the battery is going to show just like this. The plus or positive sign should be visible. Now just line it up on your slide, and this is pretty easy because there's only one way it can go on. Now apply a very small amount of thread locker to the screw. I applied a little bit too much, so I'm going to use a cotton swab and wipe off the excess amount. I'm going to apply a thread locker to the other screw and place that in. I'm just going to verify that I have it where I want it, and I have it at 18 pounds. I'm going to make sure I torque down these screws evenly so I alternate from left to right. I know it looks like I'm unscrewing these, but I'm actually torquing the screws in. The camera is just reversed so you can see it at the correct angle. As soon as I feel and hear the click, I know I'm right at 18 pounds. Just make sure you can actually see the red dot. If it's not on, you most likely had the battery reversed. On this particular RMR, there's no on and off switch. As soon as the battery is installed, the red light's going to be on. This is your elevation screw. And the screw on the side is for your windage. By the way, don't think of these adjustment screws in terms of moving the actual dot. Think of it in terms of moving your point of impact. So if you want to move your point of impact to the right, you turn the adjustment to the right. If you want to move your point of impact up, you turn it up. On the recoil spring, the flat end goes towards the chamber, and this end here goes towards the muzzle. I'm just going to line up the rails with the rail channels and push the slide back on. I'm just going to do a function check to make sure everything's back together correctly. And it is, and we're good to go. If you're a brand new gun owner and this MR920 is your first gun, you're probably going to need to know how to clean it. If you need to do that, I'm going to refer you to my Glock 19 cleaning video. It cleans just the same as the MR920. I'll put the link in the notes below. If you like this holster, it's available at skullcrush.com. Thanks for watching.